Welcome back, Seahawks. Hope everybody had a good break, and we are excited to be back. We've got lots to talk about today with men's and women's basketball and some events that we missed over the break. But let's jump right in with Alexa and women's basketball.
Thanks, Davis. Our women's basketball team played a couple of games over our break, but unfortunately came up short. However, we did play Campbell the Fighting Camels and won 69-58. We do have a big match coming up January 28th against Charleston Sunday, but then again on February 2nd here against North Carolina A&T. Let's go cheer our Seahawks on for these next two games and show some school spirit. Now on to Davis with men's basketball.
Thanks, Alexa. While we were gone, our men's team went 3-3 with a good win at Georgia Southern and at Marshall. And sadly, the SEC's revenge as Arkansas beat the Seahawks 106-90. The Seahawks suffered two close losses at Drexel and at Towson for an 0-2 start to conference play. However, our guys returned home to find Seahawk Nation showing out and selling out Trask Coliseum against Monmouth and Delaware, leading to two great Seahawk wins. UNCW then went on the road to beat Elon, bringing them to 3-2 in conference and 12-5 overall. That brings us to this past weekend when the Charleston Cougars came into town. With some fans waiting more than 7 hours to get into the arena, Trask Coliseum was filled to the brim and rocking. The Cougars played a tough first half and went into the locker room up 38-33. However, Coach Siddle and our boys came out swinging in the second and made life hard for the Cougars, causing 8 Charleston turnovers as opposed to 4 UNCW turnovers. KJ Jenkins led the way for the Seahawks with 20 points off 3 of 3 from beyond the arc shooting, with a great night from Shaquem Phillips, who put up 18 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals, including some timely buckets down the stretch. The Seahawks ultimately took down the Cougars 78-69, avenging last season when the Seahawks went 0-3 against the Cougars. Hopefully, their revenge tour continues when UNCW goes down to Charleston February 1st. Now, over to Grace with other sports.
Thanks, Davis. This past weekend, the men's and women's swim and dive teams were both recognized for their great conference championships from their past season. They were recognized during the men's basketball game on Saturday night, and the crowds went crazy. Congrats to swim and dive, and we can't wait to see what they accomplish this upcoming season. Moving on, the women's indoor track and field team had a great weekend, especially for sophomore Braylee Montaneri. She placed 3rd in the 60-meter hurdles at the Dick Taylor Challenge. Both men's and women's track and field teams are looking forward to an exciting upcoming season. Now, let's take it over to Sarah with her club sports.
Thanks, Grace. As we came back from the holidays, UNCW hockey was getting right into the swing of things. Back for an early Sunday start, regulation wasn't enough to finish out the team's January 7th matchup. Mitch Simmons called game with the overtime winner, and goalie Noah Preston put up an impressive 48-save shutout. The Seahawks then went up north and saw more bonus hockey with a 3-2 overtime loss against Ryder and a 4-3 shootout win against Rowan. The team had one last 3-2 loss against Delaware before coming back home. This past weekend, the Seahawks faced off against UNC to a nearly sold-out crowd Friday night. The energy was electric, but the Seahawks were shut out 3-0 by the Tar Heels. Saturday's game was just as intense. The Seahawks down just 3-2 at the start of the third. The game went 5-2 to the Tar Heels. The team plays next on January 26th at home against Stevenson. Now let's head back to Davis.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, that covers everything today. Be sure to support our Seahawks at their upcoming events this week and join us back right here next week for more UNCW sports. See you then.